at the break, and they would not look back. Third quarter, the lead is 20. Spida Mitchell is playing free safety. Look at him with the interception, and then he chucks it up, and Gobert throws it down. Watch this one again. The Jazz a 22-point lead. Gobert had 18 points on the night. And then Mitchell, who had something of a quiet night offensively, just 4 of 16, but nothing quiet about this. Bam! He throws it down hard. Jazz would make 22 threes on the night, and they win going away, 114-89. The Jazz with a statement win. LeBron James after the game.
It's a tough stretch for us, but, if this won't define who we will be for the rest of the season and for the long haul, that's for sure.
Of course, we're going to make the playoffs. I would say, our whole preparation is preparing for the playoffs. We see the Jazz. We know they beat our ass tonight, but, in the playoffs, it's a different story.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, the Lakers are now 5-5 without Anthony Davis. They've lost 4 straight, and Dennis Schroeder has missed all those games as well. But let's talk about the level of concern, and let's bring in the big fella to do it. Kendrick Perkins gets up with us early this morning. Big Perk, how worried should a fan of the Lakers be this morning?
Well, G, first, let me say this. You know how when you leave work and you go home and it's sunny outside and you get on your back patio and you take your nap back there on your lawn chair and your toes be doing this because you so cozy? That's how everybody need to relax, okay? All the Lakers fans need to relax. One thing we should know is that as long as you have LeBron James, he will not let you down. Now, I will say this. They have been without their third best player in Dennis Schroeder, who's a guy that the only guy besides LeBron James that could create for himself and others, okay? But the Anthony Davis being injured is a blessing in disguise because now the Lakers are able to reevaluate what the others bring to the table and see what they need to add. We all know that the free agent market for us guys getting bought out, the trade deadline is coming up, and I'm looking at this Laker team, and they need to upgrade and fine-tune some things at the shooting position. Maybe go out there and get a guy like Stay Ready, and then maybe go get a shot blocker like Andre Drummond, a dynamic roller, or maybe a Hassan Whiteside. But again, look, when you're the champs, Greeny, I was the NBA champion. When you're the champ, you're going to get everyone best shot every single night, and they are missing 2 of their best players along the side that they played the best team in the league, the Utah Jazz.
Are the Jazz, very quickly, because I have one other thing I want to get to, but the Jazz, because they don't have a lot of star power, don't get the kind of attention some of the others do. Is Utah the best team in the NBA right now?
Hell yeah, they are, Greeny. They are something special, and they are serious, okay? And they could easily come out of the West. They are one team that is not lacking at anything. They have rim protection and Rudy Gobert and Derek Favors. They have perimeter shooting in Joe Ingles, Jordan Clarkson, Bogdanovich, Conley, Donovan Mitchell, and they have wing defenders. O'Neal is one of the most underrated guys in the league for us guarding the wings, the wing position and the guard position, and they're well coached. This team at home, unbeatable. And look, I would hate to play the Utah Jazz in the series and have to play a game 7 in Utah. This is not Stockton and Malone. This is the new generation of the Utah Jazz, and they are electrifying and they are very dangerous.
Fair enough. Let's talk about one other guy you might hate to play against. A lot of people thought you looked like a football player while you were playing basketball. I want to show.
We say welcome to Sports Center. I'm Scott Van Pelt in our nation's capital. Jazz with a dominating performance, and there have been lots of them. The most recent against the world champion Lakers, Donovan Mitchell, Tim Legler. Donovan Mitchell's going to be on the, not with us, but he's interview with him on the way. Tim Legler as well. Steve, we signed up for 60, but I believe we have to take a 60. Is that all right? We're going to take a 60. The best record in the league. It's the Lakers and the Jazz. They set a record, did the Jazz, with 28 three-pointers in their win against the Hornets on Monday. Three-point shot has changed the game, but this year more than ever, it's such a focus. Mike Conley hits a 3. Bojan Bogdanovic hits a 3. Joe Ingles, I'm quite confident. Jazz 6 of 12 from downtown in the first quarter. Jazz continue to stay warm behind the arc. Royce O'Neal, Splappa. Jazz lead by 7. Conley, who had a game-high 14 in the first half with another 3 as the lead begins to grow. LeBron cutting down the lane. Big finish. Another look at this one. Even Rudy Gobert knew better than to jump there. Jordan Clarkson's star turn continues to add game after game. Jazz jump out to a 16-point lead. Donovan Mitchell, first points of the game. Jazz had 14 threes in the first half, tied for the most in a half in franchise history. Again, 28 in their last game. Jazz rolling. LeBron's pass picked off. Up top, Mitchell, Gobert, alley-oop, another look. Defense turns to offense, and this time LeBron knows not to get caught in no man's land. Spider, look out. Oh, my. Donovan Mitchell. He's the perfect height with the perfect bounce for it to do that thing where it looks like you're kind of, there's no gravity. And then he can do that. Mitchell. And the Jazz rolling. And Mitchell was asked afterwards, you surprised about how well y'all are playing?
I wouldn't say we're surprised. I think, the biggest thing is we kind of expected this for us. I think after the bubble, the way we played, we saw a lot of things that we can definitely we saw a lot of things that we can definitely improve on. But we also found out about ourselves. Obviously missing Bojan, we found out a lot about each other, what we can do, our competitive nature, and the stuff we need to do to get better. And guys went, in the offseason, came back, locked in, and this is the team we wanted to be. Last year, we kind of had our ups and downs throughout the year. We're playing consistent basketball right now, and that's the biggest thing. Is continuing to play consistently for each other and doing little things. We got away from that in the playoffs last year, and we're doing it every night. And we got to continue to do it throughout the year.
Tim Legler joins us now, a man who made a living shooting the basketball. And I mentioned, Tim, 28 threes in their last game, 22 in this. That's 50 in 2 games. You have to be able to shoot it. But the way the ball moves, how much did what they did in terms of ball movement in this game on Wednesday night lead to making those shots?
Yeah, I think what's impressive about them, Scott, is how little time it spends in each guy's hands. They're so decisive in what they're doing. Everything has a purpose. And they've got multiple guys, probably 4 guys, that when they penetrate, they start thinking like a point guard. Most teams have 1 or 2. They've got 4. These are a couple possessions, Scott, that for any team in the league, you would look at one of these and say, hey, that might be the best possession they had the entire night. The irony is with the Jazz, this is pretty much what it looks like all the time. It's all based on high pick and roll penetration, and then they get that thing moving. I love the second one because you take a look at Conley getting downhill and the way Gobert dives. You engage that big guy, Montrezl Harrell, and when Gobert dives, you force that corner defender, in this case LeBron, to pinch off the corner. He's got to pick up the roll guy, and now you got 2 guys on the weak side, 1 defender. Poor Wes Matthews has to make a decision, and they still make an extra pass because Royce O'Neal easily could have pulled that, but he makes one more pass to Jordan Clarkson. And I feel like when I watch them and I'm taking notes, how many times I will write down extra pass, great look. I'll put an asterisk next to it so I can go back and find that play. But I do it more with them than any team in the league by far. And actually their ball movement does remind me of Golden State, I think, at their peak, the way they move it. That's how Utah is moving the basketball. And it's a beautiful thing to watch because there is no wasted dribble with this team.
Yeah, the ball never sticks, as they say. On the other side of this, with the Lakers, look, we understand that Davis isn't playing, and he is the 1A to the 1, which is clearly LeBron. But I just wonder what you're seeing out of them during this stretch, if that gives you any concern looking down the road as it relates to the champions.
Very, very little. If Anthony Davis is healthy, I think this team's going to be in the conference finals minimum, probably the finals. Here's the deal. When you have an NBA champion and you get to this point in the season, which is right in the middle of the season, the newness of the year has worn off. So that adrenaline you get, even though it was a short off season, you still have an adrenaline rush at the start of the year. That's gone. The playoffs are too far away to think about. You're right in the middle of it, and you're in a rut, and you don't have Anthony Davis. You don't have Dennis Schroeder. So this is a team right now going through the motions a little bit on the defensive end of the floor. I don't think this is anything that's going to lead to a temporary change in the way they defend. If they have Anthony Davis on the floor and they have Dennis Schroeder, this is a team that can be the best defensive team in the league, and they've got 2 superstars with as much versatility as you can want offensively. I literally have zero concern. I'm more impressed out of this with the way Utah's playing than I'm going to take away, look at the Lakers, what's wrong with them. I'm just not in that mindset because it's the middle of the year. If this was a month from now, I'd be a little bit more concerned. Not right now. These are the dog days of the season for an NBA champion, and they're going through it shorthanded.
I'm totally with you. Give the credit to the Jazz rather than the blame to the Lakers. The most interesting thing will be, as we get towards those playoffs, is the seeding as you look towards those conference semis, because you don't want to run into the wrong team too early out there. That'll be an interesting subplot, but that's for down the road, and we'll talk about it when the time's right. Tim, appreciate you, man. Be good.
Thanks, Scott.
3 more things from this game, and they're little. If you add them up, they could be big. Franchise record 28 threes on Monday. Jazz fire again, drain 14 more in the first half, as you saw. 22 in the game, 50 threes over the past 2 games. They set the NBA record for any 2-game span. Lakers have now lost 4 consecutive games without Anthony Davis, fall to 5-5 without him this season. It's LeBron